Hello peeps, how are you today? Hillbilly Halfwit. What we're talking about today is my Landrover project. I haven't done anything on it for a month because I've got to be honest with you, something is sticking in my craw about it and I didn't want to proceed. I've been thinking about it and I did a video the other day about some of my history and I was talking about my grandfathers couldn't afford their Land Rovers. Well, this actually was not one of the first ones he bought. This was it the second one perhaps that he, on the one side of my dad's father bought, and they were driving sheep to tack or something with it. It was originally blue, and they had an accident, and they wrote it off, and it went back to the garage to all be done up, and my dad bought it then. And that is the vehicle he had pretty much all his life. And this is it. It's looking pretty sad at the moment, isn't it? I've still got the engine in it. It's just the chassis, the engine, and the gearbox and everything. Now, the idea I've had in my head for a long time is to put that long wheelbase chassis on it that I bought for a 6-cylinder engine. But it's niggling me. It's really niggling me because that chassis has got a different identity plate on it to this one. So when it's finished, it isn't going to be the original number plate and the identity that I wanted to have of my dad's Land Rover. Don't sit right with me. That just don't sit right. And after that video the other day, I just thought to myself, we've got to completely change what you're doing. We are going to backtrack on what we're doing. This is going to be originally restored with the original chassis, and what we're going to do is we're going to repair this one. It might sound mad, might sound insane, but let me switch you around again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hack that back part of the chassis off, because all from here forward is good, and I'm going to try and see if I can purchase the back half new. I did see something on Facebook about 6 months ago where you can buy this back half new and then fabricate it onto this front half. There's lots of detail on this front half, numbers, chassis numbers. I want to keep it. And it's been niggling me, absolutely niggling me. So we're total change on this. We're going to build this back as it was, 100%. So I know some of you will be a bit disappointed, but that other chassis has got a plate on it as well, so I can do everything I wanted to do with this on that at a later date. I just thought to myself, you don't very often get a chance to do an original vehicle up as it was, and especially not your father's, and one that your grandfather owned as also. So the front of the chassis here and all the engine is fine. We had a problem with the if you hadn't seen this before, what happened was it went off for the test and it had all its lights done. They changed them from halogen bulbs, I think, and then the wiring loom burnt out there and it would never run right after. Now, we didn't know until later, I didn't find out until years and years later, that the actual halogen bulbs were causing all these problems. You know, I wasn't that au fait on that sort of thing then. So we'll get a new loom for this. We'll obviously have to make the engine go again because it hasn't gone for 20 years. It'll probably take a bit of going. And here the bulkhead is rusted, so we'll need to fix all this up, and also here they're pillars. But that's what we're going to do. The front of the chassis, it's got little bits that need welding, maybe there. Bloody squirrel up there. and that's the new plan. So we'll obviously have new springs and suspension on the front and the back. We'll go through all these axles and try and bring them up to date. We'll try to bring this one so it's original. That's the plan anyway. So that's why you haven't seen any more with this, because there's something, sometimes your instinct is right. My instinct was just not right about carrying on with this, and I'm going to try and source these parts, get this back chassis, a new back part of the chassis, and we're going to graft it onto the front part and get on with this thing over the winter then and get it done. All the other ideas I had will happen with our other chassis when we got time in the future. But let's get this one. You don't often get a chance to restore your grandfather's and your father's Landrover back to original. So that's what we're going to do. So watch this space. Let me get some parts and I'll show you as it goes. Okay? Please comment, rate, subscribe.